Today we're going to talk about what happens when you combine a sardine challenge with the egg fast for 3 days. Hi everybody, I'm Anita from Ketogenic Woman. For those of you who are watching me for the first time, I have been on this journey for over 10 years. I have lost 145 pounds on this channel. I try various things. I do a lot of cooking and a lot of explaining this lifestyle to people and hopefully some inspiration too. So last week, a group of us that are in my Facebook group and also some people from my private YouTube membership, we all decided to see what would happen if we combined the sardine challenge with the egg fast. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that one of my favorite topics is metabolic resets, and those two separate metabolic resets are two of my favorites. And so we decided to combine them and see what kind of results we would get. We did this actually a year ago, and I was surprised at how good some of the results were. Some people got even better results than following Sardine Challenge alone or Egg Fast alone. And my theory is that combining the two actually helped them stay the course, because it's easier when you have just that little extra variety. So we decided to run this experiment again, and I filmed meals over 3 days, kind of how it went, and I did my ketones and fasting blood glucose every morning, and I got some good results, and some people in my group got even better results than me, which is fantastic. So what you're about to see are the next 3 days of meals, and then at the end I will share some of these results with you all. So let's watch. Okay, everybody, it's day one of our sardines and eggs, and my first meal. I've decided to just keep it really simple. I'm going to combine 1 can of sardines with 1 can of mackerel. I like this combination a lot, and so here we go. So, pretty easy. I already did my blood glucose and my fasting ketones this morning. We'll put that picture of that up there. I was quite surprised at how high my blood glucose was. It's not usually that high. So we'll see what the next 3 days brings. I'm hoping to bring that way down. Both these cans are packed in extra virgin olive oil, so I'm not adding any more fat. I don't really like to have too much oil. Some of the oil has hardened because these cans have been in the fridge, so I'm just taking out some of the clumps. Here's my mackerel going in. Just going to break it up, put my mustard on top. That's the meal. See you at the next meal. Okay, I'm hungry again already. It's not even noon. I'm gonna eat some eggs. I boiled them in my handy dandy Dash cooker. I just like the way they turn out in there. But you can also do Instant Pot, boil them in a pot, a pan of boiling water. There's so many ways you can boil your eggs. I just got used to doing the Dash cooker over the years. Now I just have to peel them. Using my fishy plate, even though I'm having eggs, but I just like it. I think it's cute. My favorite thing about the Dash cooker is how easily the peels come off without taking chunks of the white. And I don't know why that is. I'm going to cut these in half. They are just how I like them, a little bit, fully cooked, except a little bit jammy in the side. I maybe even could have used slightly less water. I like that one. Those two are almost hard-boiled. I'm using some salt that my son picked up. He was recently in Iceland, and this is Natura lava salt. I've never been to Iceland, so I like having their lava salt and pretending I've been there. But it really is a nice finishing salt for eggs and other things. And according to the back of the bottle, I don't know if you can get away with saying this in North America, but on the back of the bottle, they claim that it cures hangovers, eliminates internal mold, teeth whitening, and delays aging. So there you go. I don't know if any of that's true, but I like the taste of it. And this is 2 tablespoons butter. I'm just slicing it on top, keeping it super simple. Although I did make an egg loaf. I'll show that to you later. I'll have maybe some of that with my last meal of the day. Or I don't really know how many meals I'm going to have. This is kind of, I'm seeing how it goes. Okay, second meal of the day, 3 eggs, 2 tablespoons butter. See you at my next meal. Okay, I'm doing a real quick last meal of the day. It's already over an hour after I normally stop eating for the day. I like to keep, my window early, ending the eating early in the day so that I have a long fasting period. But the afternoon just went a little crazy and I ended up doing all kinds of things I hadn't planned. So can of sardines, easiest thing. I am going to put mustard on it. This is straight out of the fridge. This is my basic favorite way to do it. And on the side, I'm gonna have some egg loaf. I made this yesterday, so it is ready to take out of the pan. There we go, it came out perfectly. I just make it in a silicone pan. I will put that below. This is one of my go-tos for whenever I'm doing an egg fast. And even when I'm not doing an egg fast, I really like this recipe. So for those of you that like the lemon bars and lemon, all the lemon stuff I've been seeing on Instagram, try to make this one too, because it is so good and there's so many different things you can do with it. I like just slicing it up and eating it cold. It does also have kind of a cheesecake-like texture. Now, I don't sweeten mine, but you certainly can. Probably even just a tablespoon of allulose, maybe 2. But what some people do, this is called the French toast egg loaf. And what some people do is they will have it with some sugar-free maple syrup on it. This is going to be delicious. There we go. I'm going to save the rest of this for tomorrow. But yeah, check out the link below for how to make this because I think you'll really like it. This is my dinner for tonight. See you back tomorrow. See what happens then. Okay, it's day 2, meal 1. I did take my ketones this morning. They were up a little bit from yesterday, and my blood glucose was down, so I'm happy. Breakfast, 1 can of sardines with mustard and 2 eggs with some mayo, and that black stuff is black lava salt from Iceland. All right, getting ready for second meal on my second day. Have to apologize about the noise. There's tree pruners next door. Nothing I can do about that. So what this is an old egg fast recipe that I had turned into just a regular keto recipe by making tuna melt muffins, which I'm now turning into an egg fast plus sardine recipe suitable for combining eggs and sardines. So what you need, I'm just making half the recipe. You need boneless, skinless, or you can leave this, do skin on, either boneless, skinless sardines or mackerel. They both work equally well. They have sort of a similar texture. And so 1 can, 2 ounces of cheddar cheese, which is half a cup, 2 ounces of softened cream cheese, and I just mean like room temperature. This has been sitting out for an hour or so. 2 eggs, pinch of salt, and whatever you want to bake it in. You can make it in a loaf. You can make it in these. I'm gonna make little flat pancake-like whatever out of them, or you can put them in a muffin tin. So it makes 6. Let's get started. This should be very quick. I've got the oven set to 325. All right, so I'm gonna smoosh in some cream cheese here. I suppose you could do this in a little blender as well. All right, we'll get the fish. Now I put this one was packed in olive oil, so I drained off all the oil and then I let it sit on a paper towel so that more of the oil came off. I'm gonna break this one up a bit. I'm just breaking up the pieces. Okay, and then our 2 ounces of cheese. You can use whatever, cheddar, mozzarella, whatever you have. And I'm gonna put 1/4 teaspoon of salt in. And I'm going to divide it up into these 6 portions. I like this flattening them out in one of these types of, this is called a muffin top pan. You get more crispy edges that way. So you could just bake it in a regular muffin tray as well. They still will be quite good, but I like the crispy edges, especially when you've got some cheese in here. Okay, I do suggest if you use a silicone pan to put it on a sturdier pan so that you don't, because they're floppy and the stuff inside can flip out. I'm going to put this in the oven now, 325 at Fahrenheit for, this should take about 30 minutes. I'll check it and let you know if it's plus or minus, but here we go, into the oven. We'll see you in 30 minutes. Oh, look at these. Look at those. Those are going to be good, I can tell. Okay, so they were in for 35 minutes. Just gonna grab a fork. I'm glad I made them in this muffin top pan because you just get a little more crispiness. Now you can eat these hot or cold. All right, I'm just gonna take a bite here. Perfect. So I would probably eat 3 of these maybe, and then maybe have them as a side for a couple of eggs or something. I'm not really sure. I think eating all 6 at once might be a little bit too much, but a great side dish along with a couple of boiled eggs or say a can of sardines. But I would totally make these, other than the fact that cheese is not my friend, I will on occasion put cheese in a recipe. I just can't eat cheese on its own. It's just something that is a problem food for me. But having it in something like this, this is a great keto type of a muffin. You can, if you're keto, you can add some veggies to it. If you're carnivore, you just have it like this if you're tolerant of cheese. So I hope you guys give this a try. Thank you, Danny, for reminding me of this recipe. I totally forgot about this tuna melt recipe that I used to make, and she brought it up on Facebook today. And so I appreciate that very much. And here we are. Now we have a sardine fat or egg fast / sardine. So this is a good egg fast converted to sardine and egg fast recipe. Hope you enjoy. See you guys at the next meal. Okay, for the last meal of the day, I'm having a can of oysters. I just was tired of sardines, and a few slices of my egg loaf. Okay, so I'm about to make one of my go-tos for sardine challenge. And even though this is egg and sardine challenge, I usually start off my day with just sardines. In fact, today I'm going to do mostly sardines because yesterday my ketones, my fasting ketones this morning did not budge. They are being stubborn. So today I'm going to throw as many sardines as I can at myself and see if I can make that number higher tomorrow. So I'm making crispy fried sardines. I'm using 2 cans of water-packed sardines, King Oscar bristling sardines in water. They're my favorite. To make this dish, I want to drain off as much water as I can. I've drained off 2 little dishes of sardine water for the dogs. My dogs cannot tolerate sardine oil, so I never save the oil for them. It gives them runny poops, but the water they love and they don't have a problem with it. So I'm using my cast iron pan. I've got leftover bacon grease. I'm going to use the bacon grease to fry these in to make them nice and crispy. You can also use tallow or butter. I like using tallow and bacon grease the best because it is free. I always save my leftover beef fat or bacon fat. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of bacon grease in this cast iron pan. And get that started. We want it pretty hot. And it will splatter a bit, that's why I'm wearing my apron. I've ruined so many shirts cooking. We'll get this pan nice and hot. The other thing I want to point out is that I patted my 2 cans of sardines dry with paper towel, and I've been letting them sit here on another piece of paper towel to just try to get as much moisture out as possible. And I'm going to keep a lid handy for less splattering. Okay, I'm going to put my sardines in here. Spread them around a bit. And cook for maybe 2 minutes. Then I'm going to flip them over. Try not to get splatters all over myself, and cook another 2 minutes. Then I will be adding a couple of tablespoons of butter just to make them extra delicious and to, there's not much fat in the water-packed sardines, and Dr. Boz says to add a couple tablespoons of oil if you have water-packed sardines. So I've got 4 tablespoons of fat altogether in this cooking. Oh, I just wanted to mention too that I first saw someone frying their sardines in bacon grease. It was Kathy Dixon. She has a channel called Kingdom Way Keto. I'll link it down below. Thanks, Kathy, for showing me how to do these sardines in bacon grease. They're so delicious. All right, I'm going to flip them. And shield myself while I'm doing it. Okay, I'm gonna give it 2 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna take these out. So I started the pan on medium-high. This runs really hot, and so I started it on medium-high, and then I turned it down to medium once it got going. So I'm just going to put them on my plate now. You can see they're still going strong here. They are going to be nice and crispy. Okay, got my 2 tablespoons of butter. It's gonna be so delicious. And here we go. This is my first meal of the day. I am going to enjoy every bite. I recommend you try it, and see you guys for my next meal, whenever that is today. Okay, so for this meal, I'm having some egg loaf. I've got an egg cut in half with a little bit of mayonnaise on top and just some salt. And I have a can of sardines, my favorite bristlings, and of course I need to top it with mustard. That's it. And I opted to not have a third meal today because I was just done with it all, I think. Okay, so those were my 3 days of combining sardine challenge and egg fast challenge. And so I'm going to go over the results. I was showing my ketones and blood glucose throughout, but I'll just recap myself and then I'm going to share some of the other results. So for myself, on the first day, my ketones started at 0 0.3. Now 0 0.3 is pretty normal for a lot of people who do carnivore. You don't have to be making a lot of ketones to, be healthy and have good results. But that is just my normal state of being. What was surprising when I hadn't done my fasting glucose for quite some time. What was surprising is that my morning glucose that day is 120, and normally I'm well below 100. And I think I kind of know why, but I don't really want to get into that here. But I ended on the fourth day, the fourth morning 4, which is after the 3 days of doing nothing but eggs and sardines. My ketones were 1.4, and my blood glucose was down to 85, and I lost 1.5 pounds, which is not very much, but I don't go into these things thinking that in 3 days miracles are going to happen. It's just a slight little weight loss. But what I was really happy about was getting the ketones and the blood glucose where I like them, because that sets you up on the following days to, sets you up for success. I'm going to share 4 other results with you. I'm not going to name their names. I just made a note of them from them sharing them. So one participant, she started out with 0.4 ketones, very close to mine, and she ended up at 1.4 ketones and a loss of 4.2 pounds, which I thought was pretty amazing. One other participant, she chose not to track her blood glucose and ketones. She lost 5.4 pounds in those few days. Another person who did track, she also started off at 0.4 ketones. So you see that, that 0.3 to 0.5 can be quite a normal range to start. She also ended up 1.4 on day 4. Her blood glucose went from 106 on day 1 to 87 on the last day. And she also lost 4.5 pounds. Now, we had another person who did the 4 days and had no change. So she stayed exactly the same, like her blood glucose and her ketones stayed the same and her weight stayed the same. Now, subsequently, that person did find out she does have some health issues. She found a couple of things when she went for some tests, and so that is being worked on now. But it just goes to show, I wanted to include that in here because look how different these are. I only lost 1.5 pounds. Someone else lost, nothing. And other people lost 4 and 5 pounds, yet we all pretty much ate the same thing. We all, kind of stuck to the parameters. And so it just goes to show that you just don't know what's going on underneath the surface. Sometimes, we are healing things. We're all at different places in our journeys. We're different ages, activity levels, those sorts of things. Not all the results are going to be the same. A lot of times when I do one of these metabolic resets, I have people commenting, well, how much weight do you lose? That is going to be different for every single person. It could be anywhere from 0 to 5 pounds. So, that's the range. The whole idea is to just hack your markers a little bit to help you in the days following. That's why they call it a metabolic reset. You're resetting things, putting your body in a good state. So I'm quite happy with my results, and you know, I would definitely recommend trying it. Like, if you don't think you could do 3 days of sardines, and you don't think you could do 3 days of eggs, or maybe you've done the eggs, I think they're a little bit easier, and you haven't tried the sardine challenge yet, try combining the two. Basically, the rules for it are, there are no rules. I'm going to put a link to how to do the egg fast down below, as well as a link for how to do the sardine challenge down below. I have playlists for both. When you know how to do one or the other, it's pretty easy to combine the two. If you're hungry, have a sardine challenge meal or have an egg fast meal, or a little bit of both. It's that simple. There's no minimums and maximums. This is just to your satiety. So I hope you give it a try, and if you do, let me know, and you know, tell me your results if you have tried it. And thank you for watching, and see you guys on the next video.
Episode 399, Sardine plus Egg Challenge. Is that what it was? Yes, Sardine plus Egg Challenge. Episode 3A, no, Scene 3A, Day 1, Meal 3, Mark. Sorry, that was hard to get through for some reason.